Hog Reaction is brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC, where you always get more for your trade, and by Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, proudly serving Fort Smith, Arkansas, and surrounding areas.
They're coming from Fayetteville. They're coming from Little Rock, from Fort Smith, from Pine Bluff, from all four corners of the natural state.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
Wolfpack, and we are live here at Walk-On's Fort Smith, 4306 Phoenix Avenue. And unfortunately, as of tonight, this will be our final post-game show of the 2021 baseball season for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And I didn't think I was going to say that after tonight, to be completely honest, to be completely frank with you. But that is how it played out. The bats didn't wake up. Kevin Kopps did all he could, and it just wasn't enough for the Arkansas Razorbacks to advance to Omaha for when you were expecting them to. I mean, unanimous number one team in the country. You had teams, you had analysts, you had fans all over the place that thought you were a Sherlock for Omaha. And I thought you were getting there. And I think this team, the Arkansas Razorbacks, thought they were getting there, but they didn't get there. They didn't get it done. Now, we have about an hour with you guys tonight here on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And I just updated. This is Hog Reaction. It's not Arkansas Game Day. So if you see an Arkansas Game Day on Twitter, it is Hog Reaction. Just had to update that. I was doing a couple other things before we got going this morning, or excuse me, this tonight. But we're going to unpack this as best we can. And you're welcome to get in here at 877-377-6963. I know Mace back in studio is going to be taking your calls, taking your texts. And I know there's going to be a lot of reaction to what occurred tonight, to what caused you to exit from the postseason and prevent you from going to Omaha, Nebraska, because it's a little frustrating. It's a little irritating how it went down. And it's not a particular person's fault, but at the end of the day, you failed to execute when it mattered in postseason baseball and in Baum-Walker Stadium. And, again, we're not going to single in on any one coach, player, team, whatever, but there's blame that could be passed around. And I'm not going to go scorched earth here at 8:26 on a Sunday night, because there's no need to do that, because this team still accomplished something in the regular season. But, and there is a but there that needs to be there, we know regular season titles, we know regular season performance, we know all that does not compare to what you do in the postseason. And unfortunately for the Arkansas Razorback baseball program, they're still in a situation where they have yet to get over that hump. You thought you were going to get over it in 2018, you didn't. I went there in 79, but maybe you thought you were going to get over it back, 40 years ago? And you did over 40 years ago, and you get over it. Until you get that national championship on your pedigree, on your resume, specifically on Coach Van Horn's, there's still something that's lacking within this baseball program. And that sucks to say, but sometimes the truth hurts. And the truth of the matter is this team did not live up to expectations of where they should have been this year. Now, I know those expectations change throughout the year. At some point, you probably just thought, oh, this team needs to go to Omaha. And then they kept on winning. You say, oh, this team needs to make the College World Series final. And then you said, oh, this team, they need to go to the national championship. And we'll kind of go over where you think this team should have ended up relative to where their season concluded tonight in a Game 3 loss to the North Carolina State Wolfpack. We'll first go to Horseshoe Bend and welcome in Kenny to the program. Kenny, you are on Hog Reaction. Let it fly, my man.
How you doing, guys? It's good to hear y'all all season. First, I'd like to say congratulations to Arkansas on a great season, okay? But I'm from Louisiana, okay? I've been in Arkansas 13 years, but I was born and raised in Louisiana. LSU lost to a great Tennessee team today, 15-6. You know why? They hit the ball, okay? Timely hit. Arkansas lost these last two games because they could not hit the ball with runners in scoring position. You can't hit the ball, you can't win. You can blame the coach, blame whoever. The whole point of this ordeal is they've been doing it all year long. Yes, they had a good season. Nobody's taking that from them. They had great players. They got a very great coach. But if you can't hit the ball in timely positions, you cannot win the big games. That's why they're packing their bags. North Carolina State going to the World Series. So like I said, congratulations to them. They had a great year. But I told people if they couldn't hit the ball, they was not going to win. You can't beat a team by 22 points one night and barely hit the ball the next game, and definitely barely hit the ball today. You just can't be consistent. They don't have that one hitter they can depend on in a timely manner to hit the ball when they need it. That's why they lost. But like I said, they have a great team. Nobody's taking nothing from them. But it is what it is, guys, and I can't say nothing better than that. And y'all have a great show, and thanks for the season, and congratulations to Arkansas on the season they had. Thank y'all.
Kenny, appreciate your call. When it comes to Arkansas hitting the baseball, the number one team in the country in home runs, most ever for Arkansas baseball in the history of a single season, most walks in Division I college baseball this season, but you saw less doubles, singles, and triples, and that's really what you needed tonight is to just get guys on base, and they didn't have it. And you got 21 runs in game number 1, and then games 2 and games 3, you got 5 and you got 2. That's not going to cut it in postseason baseball. And Kevin Cobb did all he could tonight. That's the bummer about this is, I mean, you look at what he gave up. He's coming off, I know, didn't pitch extensively last night, 2 innings, but pitches over 100 pitches, never done that before, never gone 8 innings. He gets to the 9th inning, doesn't go a complete game, but gets to the 9th inning. This guy gave you everything you had and didn't get a lick of run support tonight from the strongest hitting team and strongest walking team in college baseball. And that's not me being over dramatic or overzealous when talking about this loss. That's just the truth. You think I'm happy right now talking about Arkansas losing to North Carolina State? There's some people on this station that would take pleasure in watching what occurred tonight. I'm not one of those. I grew up a fan. I went to school there. Watched games with my grandpa growing up. Not as much baseball, but I don't take pride or pleasure in watching Arkansas lose. I don't care if it's better for the show tomorrow. I don't care if it's better for the show tonight. I wanted this team to go to Omaha. But instead, we're sitting here kind of twiddling our thumbs thinking, what the heck happened tonight? There's lots of things that happened. We'll talk about that throughout this program this night at 877-377-6963. Now, we got some text already, and again, you can text in at that number or comment, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. This is from Chad in Northwest Arkansas. He said, I knew Arkansas would disappoint us. They usually do. The price for being a Hog fan. Now, I think that's a little unfair, Chad. It may now be the case because, unfortunately, they did disappoint you a little bit. But I didn't head into this series thinking they would disappoint. I truly felt after Charlie Welch hit that 3-run shot against the Nebraska Cornhuskers in the final game of the regional, that was the pressure that was being lifted off not just the baseball team but the entire state of Arkansas. And instead, North Carolina State, and there's a couple pitchers on that staff that deserve Arkansas's handshakes and their congratulations because they just pitched an incredible series, specifically games 2 and 3. Not so much game 1, as we saw Arkansas hang 21 on them. But games 2 and 3, I mean, they brought it. They had some stuff. Arkansas doesn't have a bunch of bums that are standing behind the plate. They have some of the best hitters in college baseball, and they were stunned, they were detained, and they were just shut down, particularly tonight. And you think about Matt Goodhart, you think about some of the other Arkansas players, and we'll kind of open up the stats a little more going on, but it hurt. It hurt watching this team fail tonight because that's what this is a failure to move on to Omaha. Now we can open this more up on the Morning Rush halftime and Ruskin and Zach, what this season is as a whole, but tonight was a failure. It was a failure to connect with the baseball. It was a failure to get the W. That's what it is. And again, that's not me jumping to conclusions. That's not me trying to become a headliner. That's not me trying to go over the top. Tonight was a failure in the sense that you didn't get it done in your home stadium as the number 1 overall seed in the country. And you can say, well, this has happened for you. Yeah, it has. There's a good chunk of teams since 1999, since the tournament was expanded, that haven't made it to Omaha as the number 1 overall national seed. But the numbers that we were talking about prior to this game was the numbers that you were able to overcome. like only one other team in the SEC in the history of the conference that's gone through a slate undefeated as far as series goes, the 2013 Vanderbilt team. We were talking about how you could potentially be only the second team since 1999 as the number one overall seed to win it all. You weren't able to do either of those. So this is where we're at right now. 877-377-6963. Looks like we got another caller on hold we will get to in just one sec. We will take Robert in Fort Smith's call. I know Robert's a big Arkansas baseball fan. Robert, go ahead. You're on Hog Reaction.
Real quick, Todd. I mean, I brought this up to Phil's show, and I brought it up to yours. Two things. That Charlie Boy syndrome with Cobb. We kept him, and he did. He gave us everything. You couldn't ask for nothing. But doing that does not get you there. And number two, that number one seed, I told you, I didn't think we were going to really get there because of the number one seed. It's not an omen. It's not a myth. It's a statistic that stays, and it sucks, but just the way it is, guys. Have a good one.
We appreciate the call, Robert, but you wanted to be better in the statistic, right? Like, Arkansas fans can't blame the fact that they were the number one seed, that was the sole reason, or one of the – I guess if you want to tie it in to one of the reasons. I know Phil's not a big conspiracy / omens buff or, like, coincidence buff, but, I mean, if you wanted to tie that in, I mean, that's your obligation, that's your prerogative, whatever. And the statistics bear what Robert's saying out, how you would think the number one overall national seed would be a sure fit to Omaha every single year, but it hasn't been the case since they expanded again. You can't let that be an excuse if you're an Arkansas baseball player, coach, or fan. And this is, again, I'm 26 years old. I don't have as much of a great history grasp as some of you listening to the program right now when it comes to, quote-unquote, getting let down. 69, 98, some of these big-time games that you were, like, on the brink of a national championship potentially, or just a player where whatever the case may be. This is going to have to, unfortunately, be chalked up into one of those years. It's a different sport being baseball. We brought up football mostly. There's basketball on some of the games you can look at, but this is going to get folded into that conversation. I hate it, but it's the truth, and that's where you have to put it. We're going to take, again, more of your calls and texts. A lot more to get to on Hog Reaction. We appreciate Walk-Ons Fort Smith for hosting us, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley for being a part of our coverage. When we come back, we're going to talk some stats. What went wrong tonight in the 3-2 loss? We'll address that next.
This is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Walk-Ons Fort Smith. Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review. 646-6792.
For 33 years, Mansfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, what's up, Ty?
There's only one place that you get all your alcohol needs for the Omahas.
That's right. My favorite place to go is to my friends at Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith.
9390 Rogers Avenue. Now, you were telling me about the new Ice Dreams.
That's right, the Ice Dreams alcoholic poptails. They're awesome, man. We got the summertime coming up, and they've got great flavors like pina colada and strawberry daiquiri.
Beer, wine, spirits, and cigars. Everyday low prices at Eastside Liquor. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
At Detail Shine 99, located on Jenny Lind, right across from Ramsey Junior High, they do it all, inside and out. If you're busy, just drop off your vehicle and it will be returned to you with a shine. And if your schedule doesn't allow you to drop off, your vehicle will be picked up, detailed front to back, and brought back to you looking like the day you bought it. Detail Shine 99. Prices from $99 to $149 plus tax. Call today at 339-0099 or check them out online at detailshine99.com.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, Space-Or Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of Space-Or, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction live from Walk-On Sportsmith.
You gotta get out of here!
Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Go crazy at Baum Walker! Go nuts!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
Go.
All right, we're back here on Hog Reaction live at Walk-On Fort Smith. Now, there were some plays tonight that you thought were going to take you over the top. Let's go to Caden Wallace, who had not had a good postseason to this point, but got things going late in this one.
1-0 to Wallace. Driven in the air to left field. Back it goes to the wall. Tie game! Tie game! Caden Wallace with a line drive home run to tie the game.
Mace, I'm going to be honest, when he hit that and it was 2-2, I thought they were going to do it. I thought they were going to get it done, but unfortunately, we know the score ended up being 3-2 in favor of the North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Yeah, you felt confident after that because it's like, okay, here we go again. We're gonna have another late inning comeback. Arkansas is gonna do it. They're gonna go to Omaha. And then you see Kevin Cobbs trot back out in the ninth, and you're like, man, he's going to go. this is going to happen. And then it just didn't. The home run, I mean, some people are commenting and asking if that home run ball's even landed yet. I mean, it was just a moonshot. And it's safe to say that all Razorback fans felt sick after that one.
Yeah, they were excited, ecstatic, and then all of a sudden it was kind of taken away. Unfortunately, we know the drill, and that's just kind of how it played out. But listen, at the end of the day, this team, this program, they're going to be back next year. Now, I don't know in what condition. They're probably not going to be the unanimous number one team in the country. But Dave Van Horn, this Arkansas baseball program, is not going anywhere. Let's go to Little Rock and welcome in Jonathan, who's called in a Hog Reaction. Jonathan, go ahead.
Hey there, Ty. I understand that it's a team sport, and it's just not lost on me that Goodhart blew a couple of prime opportunities for us that could have put us over the edge. And as much as I love Matt Goodhart, I love Magnolia. I graduated from Southern Arkansas University.
Okay.
I just feel like that was an opportunity lost for the Hogs tonight.
Are you just talking about advancing to the Omaha? Are you talking about Matt Goodhart? Like, are you wanting him subbed out of the lineup?
I'm just talking about Matt Goodhart. I mean, the bases were loaded tonight, and he struck out. And then the next time he was up, there were two people on base, and I believe he struck out then as well. Two prime opportunities for us to show something. And again, I know it's a team sport. I'm not blaming Matt Goodhart, but he was put in a position to get us into the lead, to get some momentum, and it just didn't happen. And I'm just so disappointed for him and for the team just in general. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, Jonathan, we appreciate your call, and I mean, I don't think you're being over the top when talking about Matt Goodhart because you brought up two situations just then, and I'd have to go back and look at some other games where he had guys on base, and typically you think of Matt Goodhart over his career at Arkansas, I mean, really strong hitter, but kind of struggled a little bit this postseason. It wasn't just him. There were several others, but the bases loaded one that you were talking about, again, 2 outs. A lot of Arkansas's damage in this postseason came with 2 outs. It was pretty miraculous how just hit after hit, walk after walk seemed to come with 2 outs, and Arkansas would strike lightning in a bottle and just find a way to keep the inning going from time to time. But in that instance, he wasn't able to do it. I'd have to look up and double-check what his postseason numbers were. On the top of my head, I know they weren't good, and that's unfortunately Matt's going to think about that for a little bit. I hope he doesn't harbor it with him, but that instant tonight, you would have loved to take advantage of a bases-loaded situation. Let's go to the phone lines again. Welcome in Tyler, who's in Fort Smith. Tyler, go ahead. You're on Hog Reaction.
Yeah, I'm just curious what y'all thoughts were. Friday we came out hot, won the season or the game pretty big. If it was a closer game, you think we just saw some of these pitchers that played today, maybe Friday or even Saturday, could have changed the series a little bit different?
That's a good question. I don't know. Again, I'm not sitting in with Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn when they're thinking about who they're going to start, who's going to be their pitcher. So I don't kind of know their philosophy and what they do when it comes to.
Well, I mean, like North Carolina State. Like we got so hot, it's almost kind of like they said, "Hey, just let them run."
You're speaking to the Wolfpack.
Yeah, for North Carolina, they're pitching. Would they put some? If it was a closer game, would we seen some better pitchers on Friday? That probably today they would have ran out of pitching. Possibly could have helped us out on the hitting. Because usually it seems like Sunday teams usually run out of pitching.
Yeah, I think that's. You can't really rule that out.
Yeah, I know.
What you're saying, Tyler. I think that's kind of how you're looking from your vantage point. That's not. I don't think a terrible way to look at it. I mean, frankly, Villeman and Justice and Williamson all looked pretty solid tonight, especially Justice.
Yeah,
that kid. Was he like 6'5", lefty? Can find some spots, and he shut Arkansas down really, and that's he was called upon, and unfortunately Arkansas couldn't answer the bell.
Hey, no, I appreciate it. Hey, they had a good season, enjoyed it. Wish you can go farther, but best season during the year. Had a great season.
Yeah.
Now
Tyler,
I'll step off. Take care.
Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate your calls. Keep them coming, 877-377-6963. We've got a couple callers that we don't traditionally hear on the Morning Rush, which is good because we want some new life. I know that there are some of you that are strictly Arkansas baseball. That's the highest pedigree where you put it at the top. By the way, Goodhart went 7 for 27 in regionals and super, so slightly under or slightly over, 250. I don't know what that is. If you do it 25%, 250. So
259.
259. Thank you, Mace. I appreciate that. So that's well below what he was hitting prior to heading into the postseason. And listen, postseason baseball, we know when it comes to offense, it's harder to get hits because the pitching is better, but he shouldn't have struggled the way he did. And it wasn't just him. Again, I'm not trying to single out Matt because there's a lot of guys that didn't necessarily come through when they needed to in the sense of you trying to get a win. And that's again, the cliche phrase, well, that's just baseball. I don't think you can use that, right? Is it fair to me to say that it's unacceptable for this team not to advance to Omaha?
I think so.
Is that so that's you're saying it's unfair for me to say that?
No. I'm saying it is fair, but also at the same time.
Explain to me why that's fair for me. I'm not necessarily. I'm trying to think if I think it's fair or not for me to say it. Why do you think it would be fair, Mace, for me to say that it's unacceptable for this team as the number 1 overall seed, as the unanimous number 1 team in the country for the past 15-plus weeks, to not make it to Omaha?
So, of course, everybody's talking about, the number 1 seed usually doesn't make it. You talked about the 2013 Vandy team earlier, but you won 21-2 on Friday night. That happened, and, of course, you lost yesterday. We know that that's how the Supers have gone for Arkansas the past 3 times, but Kevin Kopp's pitched 8 innings tonight, and you could not capitalize off of him throwing 8 innings. He put the team on his back, and you couldn't capitalize at the plate. This is a team that prides themselves on hitting home runs, on being really good at the plate. You've probably got 3 first-round draft picks in this batting lineup. You've got a lot of dudes in this lineup that are going to get drafted. And I'm not trashing this baseball team. What I'm saying is it's just kind of disappointing because of the season you had. It's not fun, Ty. It's not fun at all, to be honest with you.
Well, I think when it comes to sports talk radio, some people get frustrated or irritated with hosts or co-hosts when they don't put an asterisk, but this team tried so hard. I'm not saying this team didn't put effort tonight. I'm not saying they didn't put effort leading up to this point in the season because I think that would be irrational. I think that would be a just completely idiotic statement by myself. But what I do think is when a team like this loses and then people point to, well, hey, look at all they did in the regular season, look at this, look at that, I just think that's callous. And I think that's cowardly, to be honest. And that's not the reason your team in baseball hasn't won a national championship. But when something like this happens, when you have, again, the number 1 team in the country for so long, the number 1 overall seed, and they don't just fall in Omaha. That would be one thing. But they don't even make it to Omaha. That to me, I don't. Again, maybe the good thing about this is we're doing this hog reaction right now, and I'll mull on this a few more hours tonight and wake up thinking about it again before we go on the morning rush. Maybe unacceptable is too harsh of a word, but if someone wants to help me out and send me a text what you think this season was, then do it. Because at the end of the day, you should have been in Omaha, Nebraska, and I don't care what injuries you didn't. Zebulon Vermillion was back for this series. I know you lost Payne Paulette, but it would have been one thing, and I think you could say this. It would have been one thing if Kevin Kopps had a season-ending injury or Patrick Wicklander had a season-ending injury, or you had, I don't know, pick a hitter that is just so crucial your lineup had a season. You can't chalk this loss up to just an injury that changed the dynamics of the team. That's what's so you're trying to find an excuse, you're trying to find this, you're trying to find that. It's like, hey, this is why we lost. This is why we lost. Well, I want to place my blame in this. I want to place my blame in that. I mean, what are you pointing to? What are you pointing to tonight as you're sitting there either driving home from Baum Walker Stadium, you're listening on hitthatline.com, you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. What are you pointing to why it fell apart tonight? What are you pointing to the reason you're not watching this team inside of TD Ameritrade next weekend? I think there's several things, but when you figure out what you want to point to, then what are you coming to a conclusion of? What are you saying, hey, this is a what season? Fill in the blank. This is a what season? A disappointing season? That's what Tommy just texted me. Let me make sure I get this text right so I don't butcher it. Great season, disappointing finish. I'd say that fits the narrative. But is disappointing, is that enough to characterize what this was? Because I don't know if it is. This team should have been potentially in the national championship as the number 1 overall seed. I mean, you could pretty much fit a lot of adjectives and adverbs in at this point. Mace, what would you describe this season as we sit here on Hog Reaction talking about a super regional exit tonight?
Ty, I got to say I appreciate this season. I had a lot of fun watching this baseball team, and it's just unfortunate that you can't continue to watch them, that you don't get to see Kevin Kopps pitch at the College World Series. You don't get to see Patrick Wicklander go out there and pitch in the College World Series. It's just unfortunate. It was a lot of fun. This team was amazing. There was so many things that were amazing this season. I mean, just watching Kevin Kopps, that was a blessing, Ty. It really was. It was a blessing to watch Kevin Kopps pitch this year. But like you're saying, yes, it's disappointing. I don't know if I would say, I did say it's unacceptable earlier, but it's just tough because I'm thankful that I got to watch this team, but also I feel like I'm missing out because I think they could have gone all the way.
I mean, you're left wanting. That's where you're sitting here or driving here or just standing here right now. Let's go to some calls. Clint Bentonville. Clint, what are you feeling after this season has come to a bitter end tonight?
I think you live by the big hit. You kind of die by the big hit. And we rested on that, number 1 home run hitting team in the nation a lot. And it just didn't happen tonight. And, we all probably remember the times when Razorback baseball was small ball and, we were inching out runs. We had a stout team this year, and, it was exciting. It was great. They had a great season, but it just didn't pull through. And Casey Opitz pulled a bunt. That was great, and we had a lot of pop-outs deep into the outfield tonight, and then the long ball just didn't go for us, and that's, great season. Hats off to the boys, and I'm ready for next year, and, hopefully we see a lot of these boys back, and, could they have stopped, Kopps at the end of 8 and not tried to push it? Yeah, but that's armchair quarterback. But, I think they had a great, exciting season. I'm proud of them. I just think we put a lot of stock in dropping that shoulder and jacking one over the fence, and it didn't go our way tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, when you look at Arkansas's hit this season, Clint, number 1 single season they've ever had in home runs. They also were the number 1 team in the country in walks. But when you needed a double, when you needed a single, or if Lord willing, if you could have gotten a triple tonight, it wasn't there for you. And like you're talking about, is either jacked or it was a strikeout. Clint, we appreciate the call. You only, as we're sitting here at about 9 o'clock here on Sunday night, you only talk about that when it results in a loss. No one was complaining about Arkansas's lack of just singles or doubles throughout the season when you were winning every SEC series. But you always reevaluate, you readdress, and you relook at things following a loss. And that's why we're sitting here. All right, we'll take Landon and Fayetteville's call before we go to break here. Landon, go ahead, man. You're on Hog Reaction.
Hey, thanks, buddy. In January, I just moved back here from Denver, and that was towards the second half of basketball season. And after basketball had their good run, and baseball, they got hot the entire year. We're all disappointed, but they are just kids. I'm only a couple years older than them, and they're the way that Cobb came out, the way that he's handled this national attention, and the way he's performed the entire year, especially tonight, even the kids, they played their hearts out, and you can't not, I guess, I get mad at them. But, yeah, I'm so happy to experience this with my dad, my brother, and my whole family back here, just to experience this whole entire season. I'm just so happy for them. Even though we didn't go to Omaha, I just had to cancel my reservation, in Omaha tonight.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's heartbreaking, but they played their hearts out, and I'm really proud of this team. And if this doesn't build a fire for next year, I don't know what will. And Van Horn, he's got kids coming in for the guys that are leaving, and I think we're going to come back better than ever next year.
Yeah, the stoking of fire part that you're talking about, Landon, we appreciate your call as we wrap up this segment here on Hog Reaction. Really appreciate Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley being a part of our pre- and post-game coverage as we are live from Walk-On's Fort Smith. You can be proud of this team, and you can be proud of this state, as I just got a text from our buddy Hayden Shores, but you can also be disappointed, and you can be frustrated, and you can be angry with the team's expectations that weren't fulfilled. There can be a combination of both. Now, you'll notice how I haven't just gone scorched earth on this team or these kids, because I say kids because they're still, like you talked about, Landon, a couple years older than me. There's a different way, and Clay's told me about this. There's multiple other older veteran journalists that would tell me the same thing. Like, you cover a college team differently than you do a professional team because, as you mentioned, Landon, these are student athletes. These aren't athletes that get paid. They can take the heat. They can take the press. It's part of it. And that's not me, like, necessarily, I don't know the proper way to say this. I think I would be talking about this season differently if this was the Arkansas professional baseball team based out of Northwest Arkansas. But because it's a college team and you look at, again, this sport a little differently because they are student athletes and they're students first and foremost, that's different when you address this. We got a couple more segments here on Hog Reaction. We're going until 9:30 tonight. So if you have a statement, if you have a comment, if you have something that you just want to get off your chest, do it in the next 30 minutes because that's all you got. We got the morning rush. We got halftime. We got Ruskin and Zach tomorrow, so plenty of time if you don't get in here tonight. But if you feel like something, you have to get it off your chest, please do it. We need it. We want it, and we love it. More Hog Reaction coming up.
This is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Walk-On's Fort Smith. Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review. 646-6792.
For 33 years, Mansfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, what's up, Ty?
There's only one place that you get all your alcohol needs for the Omahas.
That's right. My favorite place to go is to my friends at Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith.
9390 Rogers Avenue. Now, you were telling me about the new Ice Dreams.
That's right, the Ice Dreams alcoholic poptails. They're awesome, man. We got the summertime coming up, and they've got great flavors like pina colada and strawberry daiquiri.
Beer, wine, spirits, and cigars. Everyday low prices at Eastside Liquor. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Shangri-La Resort. They're going on their 65th year, giving you some of the memories you treasure to this day. Take it from me, I grew up going there. The Carrs are going on their 3rd generation of taking care of you. Mama Carr makes the best pie in all of Arkansas, and they wake up at 3 in the morning just to start making them. Check them out online at ShangriLaResort.net and check out their Facebook and Instagram pages for some of the best scenery in the natural state. Shangri-La Resort, a touch of paradise and a boatload of fun.
Evans Body Shop is ready to work for you. Bring us your cars, your trucks, your SUVs, and we will get them back to like new condition just in time for all of the good times that come with spring and summer. No time to come by for an estimate? Visit our website and utilize our mobile estimating tool. We will keep you updated and informed throughout the repair process, and you can pick up your freshly repaired and detailed vehicle with the peace of mind that our lifetime paint warranty provides. Come by and see us today at 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
You're listening to Hog Reaction live from Walk-On Fort Smith.
You gotta get out of here!
Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Go crazy at Baum Walker! Go nuts!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
You know, I figured we'd get one of these texts at some point throughout the program tonight. I was hoping we wouldn't, but someone actually had the gall, stupidity, idiocy to text in that this team needs to move on from Dave Van Horn. And I don't know if that's someone's just trying to stir a pot, trying to troll, whatever the case may be. But I spent the last 5 minutes of the break reading this text and laughing, just shaking my head, because even in a situation, even as successful as Coach Van Horn has been at the University of Arkansas, there's actually someone that I hope is just messing around. I hope they've had too many vodka Red Bulls or natural lights or fireball shots or whatever the case may be that you were consuming tonight. I hope that's the actual case of what happened, but you never know. We got about 23 more minutes of Hog Reaction. We're still getting a bunch of calls, a bunch of texts, and a bunch of people commenting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Pitch. Before we get to those, I just want to say, sitting here, that it has been a privilege to watch Kevin Kopps. We got a chance to talk with his father, Rick, who, if you watch the TV broadcast, the camera was on him several times, and it was just a pleasure. Like, you know, when you sit back sometimes and you talk about a particular athlete or you sit in a particular athlete, like I felt the same watching Moses Moody this year. The same was watching Jalen Catalon really come out of his shell as a redshirt freshman. I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm getting a real happiness, a joy of life to watch these these three young men stand out and play basketball. Chelsea Junji for the women's basketball team. You could talk about Braxton Burnside for the softball team. If you have a favorite soccer player, track and field, whatever, it's just every once in a while you sit back and just to enjoy the athlete you get to spectate. And for me, it was Jalen Catalon for football, Moses Moody for basketball, and now Kevin Copps for baseball. Let's go to Rogers, Arkansas, and welcome in Jay, who's called into the program. Jay, you're on Hog Reaction, man. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. I just want to say that to the baseball team or any of their family members, anybody that is listening, thank you. Thank you for the season. Thank you for the effort and the hours of training that you and work that you put in year-round. I know that everybody expected or hoped, but a lot of people expected to be in Omaha. I'd like you guys, and I'm not this isn't to punch at anybody. How many number one seeds have made it or actually won the College World Series in the last 10 to 15 years?
There haven't been a single one. Last one to do it was in 1999, and that was Miami, the first year of the expansion.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Yep, exactly. So this is not an easy thing. So these kids played their heart out. I'm not even going to address the text that you referred to. I mean, that's just idiotic. I don't know any other word to say. I'm sorry, but I've lived here. I'm a native Arkansan, been here 45 plus years, and I think a lot of the Hog fans, especially the baseball fans that have started paying attention the last 10 years, I hate to say it, but you're spoiled. What we have been doing in the last 10 years is just, it's almost unprecedented. We have the best facilities in the best conference in the United States. We have the best coaches, the best players, and to win the College World Series is something in itself, and it's not easy, and my hats are off to these kids. I don't think this season was a disappointment. I mean, we're SEC champs. We're SEC tournament champs. We won 50 games. We had the best pitcher in the nation. I mean, I feel horrible for Copps because, like they were saying earlier with Phil and everybody, that poor kid, the last pitch he threw was a home run, and the loss that he had to take tonight was his first loss all year. So my heart bleeds for those kids more than it does to me. I've been in Omaha the last 5 years, or last 5 times we went, and I would much rather me stay home and watch it on TV than those kids not even make it. I don't know. I'm just rambling, but my heart bleeds. Thank you, Razorbacks. Thanks, DVH. And I guess that's it. Appreciate it.
Hey, Jay, we appreciate your call. I think a lot of your what you just shared, a lot of Razorback fans share that same sentiment talking about this baseball team. And that was something I hadn't thought of to this point, that the last pitch of Kevin Copps' career was a home run that he gave up. And that does not tell the story of what he's been this season for this baseball team. I'll give you an example. So Hunter Yurchek just put out a picture of Kevin, who an hour after the game's concluded is still signing autographs with young boys, young girls, fans all over the place, because that's the type of upstanding young man that he is. And I would hope that when they announce the stopper of the year, which I think is the day before the first College World Series game, I think it's June 18th, when they announce the Dick Hauser Award and they announce the Dick Hauser Trophy and Golden Spikes Award, I hope that the baseball writers and the analysts, and I know this for a fact because they've been watching this kid all year, I mean, they shouldn't judge him. He did everything he could. He was asked to do something he has not done all year. Start and go 8+ innings in a ball game, pitch over 100 pitches in a ball game. He's done so many things right for this team this year, and he did tonight as well. 3 runs. You got to give him something, Arkansas bats, something offensively. If you would have told me heading into tonight's game that Arkansas would give up 3 runs total throughout the course of the game, Kevin Copps does that. I say they win 99 times out of 100, but it just didn't go your way tonight. And listen, it sucks. I know. I'm sitting here. I still got about 15 more minutes to do of Sports Talk Radio tonight, and 3 hours tomorrow, and then the rest of the week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about after this week because you can only do so much Arkansas football. Well, this is kind of just where we're at right now, and it's just not. It's not where you want to be as an Arkansas baseball fan. You wanted to be in Omaha. We got a text out of the 405 talking about Brady Slavens, Robert Moore, Cullen Smith, Christian Franklin, Matt Goodhart. They just didn't have it tonight. Big Mike from Waldron texted in and said other teams figured them out and they found holes in their swing. That's what North Carolina State was able to do tonight. You're just sitting here and you're trying to find your thoughts. You're trying to collect your thoughts. And listen, this is something not necessarily you want to fester on, but you just want to kind of gather a little bit. I know some of you are listening to the program right now and you haven't fully connected on what you want to say. You'll be at the water cooler tomorrow. You'll be listening to the morning rush. You'll be listening to halftime. You'll be listening to Ruskin and Zach. And maybe you'll have a better idea by then after you kind of recalibrate and adjust and kind of rethink what happened next 12 or so hours. And you probably ponder on it as you go to bed tonight. Probably ask your significant other, hey, what went wrong? And the other one, what is your husband or wife? Just like, I want to go to bed. I don't want to talk about this. And then you'll do it all over again. James texted in. He said the bats went cold at the wrong time. Yeah, super regionally, your bats can't go cold, and especially, again, once the Kevin Kopp's performance was great and you just didn't give him anything. That's kind of like what the call Jay from Rogers talking about. He comes out of the bullpen as your starter just to kind of stay within the routine, and Christian Franklin got the start. And you had Charlie Welch had another big hit after Franklin got to the plate on that third base error, and you thought Charlie was going to come up with another big hit at a point tonight. Then Caden Wallace goes yard in the 7th. I think it was 7th or 6th, and that ball, as you mentioned, Mace, they're still trying to find it, and there weren't a lot of other hits tonight. And Kopps wasn't, this is what I talked about a little bit. He's not invincible, but even this state tonight, he was a little yet lesser than he typically is, but that's still better than the performance of really anyone outside of Patrick Wicklander would have given you tonight. That's what you were kind of dealt with the Arkansas pitching staff. And I know that Matt Hobbs, Dave Van Horn, they're going to have long, extensive discussions in the offseason how they can kind of change things up for next year, because you're going to need a better pitching staff in order to win a national championship. We got one more segment here of Hog Reaction coming up, about 15 minutes left. Really appreciate everyone listening to the program, whether you're on 95.3 in Fort Smith River Valley, 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 104.3 Harrison Mountain Home, and then 96.3 Hot Springs Central Arkansas, as well as hitthatline.com and Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. When we come back, the final segment of this baseball season of Hog Reaction.
This is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Walk-Ons Fort Smith. Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review, 646-6792.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
For 33 years, Mansfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, what's up, Ty?
There's only one place that you get all your alcohol needs for the Omahas.
That's right. My favorite place to go is to my friends at Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith.
9390 Rogers Avenue. Now, you were telling me about the new Ice Dreams.
That's right. The Ice Dreams alcoholic poptails. They're awesome, man. We got the summertime coming up, and they've got great flavors like pina colada and strawberry daiquiri.
Beer, wine, spirits, and cigars. Everyday low prices at Eastside Liquor. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Shangri-La Resort. They're going on their 65th year, giving you some of the memories you treasure to this day. Take it from me, I grew up going there. The cars are going on their 3rd generation of taking care of you. Mama Carr makes the best pie in all of Arkansas, and they wake up at 3 in the morning just to start making them. Check them out online at ShangriLaResort.net and check out their Facebook and Instagram pages for some of the best scenery in the natural state. Shangri-La Resort, a touch of paradise and a boatload of fun.
At Detail Shine 99, located on Jenny Lind, right across from Ramsey Junior High, they do it all, inside and out. If you're busy, just drop off your vehicle and it will be returned to you with a shine. And if your schedule doesn't allow you to drop off, your vehicle will be picked up, detailed front to back, and brought back to you looking like the day you bought it. Detail Shine 99. Prices from $99 to $149 plus tax. Call today at 339-0099 or check them out online at detailshine99.com.
You're listening to Hog Reaction live from Walk-On's Fort Smith.
You gotta get out of here!
Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Go crazy at Bohm Walker! Go nuts!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
You know, I live by a couple rules during my life, and one of them is I do not consume alcohol prior to a show, either the next morning or a show that we do pre or post game later. in the day. But I really enjoy Ross and Paris' text tonight as we're in our last segment of Hog Reaction. He just says, let's all drink a beer. I'm really thinking of kind of throwing my typical ideals away tonight, Mace, and just consuming that ice-cold, old bottle natural light that I have sitting in my refrigerator right now. We'll see what happens when I actually get home because I got to wrap up here and then head on back to the house, do a little prep before tomorrow's show. A lot of the prep's already been done as this team unfortunately falls 3-2 to the North Carolina State Wolfpack. A great season for them in terms of the regular season, not what you wanted that. And I'm very interested. We've had some calls. We've had some texts tonight, and I enjoy the reaction post-game shows. I enjoy the shows that we do the following day. But I'm curious, as we get later in the week on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and people have really had a good 24 to 48 hours to think and reflect on this baseball team, what's going to be the ultimate conclusion of this team? Because when you look back into 2018 and out of this year and some of the other seasons you've had, some will say, oh, that was a success, that wasn't. And I don't know how you do this when it comes to such a successful regular season and then such a disappointing postseason. Now, it could have been worse if you hadn't figured it out against Nebraska this past week. Then the calls and texts would have just been berserk. And I still think there'll be one or two of those tomorrow where people were advocating to let Dave Van Horn go, which I hope no one actually calls into a radio program and does that with the intent of that actually being truthful. Now, if you want to just stir the pot, I'm not going to yell at you for doing that because it's funny. You'd think it's funny or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not true. No one actually thinks that. But if someone actually does think that, I'm curious if someone calls into this program here as we're wrapping it down here on Hog Reaction. Got a text out of the 479. This team provided us a season to remember with many feats. Come from behind wins, big hits. Kudos to Coach Van Horn and this staff. We have a fantastic program that makes us proud to be a Razorback. So, Mace, we've had about an hour and a half or so to reflect on this game tonight. What are you feeling in this current moment right now with this baseball team?
Ty, I mentioned it in the break. I said I wasn't going to bring it up, but I don't know. I don't think this one hurts as bad as the drop foul ball against Oregon State, but the thing that hurts, and we've had a lot of people text in, is that this team, like you said, it's the best regular season team in Razorback baseball history. If you compare the statistics side by side with this team and the 2018 team, I feel like this team was better than the 2018 team. They didn't have as much success as far as postseason goes, but they were a really good baseball team, and that's the reason I say it hurts really bad is because of the potential they had. Like we all felt like they were gonna at least make it to the national championship, or at least Omaha, and they didn't. So that's why it hurts, is the potential that this team had. You had the best pitcher, the best player in all of college baseball.
Yep.
And you had your lineup hit the most home runs in all of college baseball. And you can't get out of the Super Regional.
That's a good way to put it. And when it comes to hurt, fans always talk about the pain, the suffering, the agony that they feel following a tough loss like this one tonight. But there's no one that's hurting more than the coaches and players in that locker room right now. I know that there are a bunch of grown men in that locker room that have teared up and cried for the first time in who knows how long because of how devastated they are individually and as a team with how this season finished, with how it played out. And they're going to be fired up as the team in 2019 was following that. They get all the way back to Omaha, and they go 0-2 in barbecue. It's not what you wanted, but you're going to see a lot of fired-up players this next year, including some young true freshmen and young players. Like I think about Caden Wallace, who struggled for a lot of the postseason. At one point, he was like 4 for 30, 4 for 30, 31, and then he hits that home run. And you thought at that point, I did at least, that Arkansas was going to find a way to win that baseball game. They just weren't able to. Now, Derek, the porta potty guy, was staying in the porta potty, getting some Busch Light transported to him, and that didn't help. And I thought it was a pretty cool stat for Mike Morgan and the guys over at ESPN. Arkansas hadn't hit a home run in the ninth all season long, and I thought that was going to be the jinx that would help Arkansas hit a home run in the ninth. And Jalen Battles almost beat out that throw too, but wasn't able to. And we haven't done it to this point, or at least we haven't done it enough. Give North Carolina State credit. Give Coach Event credit. They are now 19-4 on the season on the road. That's the second best record in college baseball. We know that Baum-Walker Stadium compares and it towers over pretty much everything. Now, Duty Noble had 14,000 plus, and that place looks great. Give Mississippi State credit because there ain't much else in Starkville outside of Duty Noble Stadium, but they weren't intimidated by Baum-Walker. They weren't intimidated by you. North Carolina State came in here with a plan and executed from game 2 on. Now, game 1, they got frazzled, they got hit early, and they got hit often. But from game 2 on, this team didn't flinch. And you wish they would have flinched. And at times you thought they were going to flinch, but they didn't flinch. And, again, I feel like it would be incorrect of me and irrational of me not to wrap up our last show of the year without talking about what Kevin Kopps is for this baseball program. I hope he wins the Dick Hauser Trophy. I hope he wins the Stopper of the Year. I hope he wins the Golden Spikes because that kid deserves it. And Arkansas fans will remember what he did for this baseball team as he was called upon over and over and over and over again. I actually got a text from a Morning Rush listener earlier in the week that he was talking to a girl in Fayetteville, and he said, "Ty, I'm screwed." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because Kevin Kopps asked this girl out on a date." So, Kevin, I hope whoever this girl is, and I think the guy that texts me, the Morning Rush listener that texts me, I think he knows he's done for when it comes to that potential relationship. Go ask that girl out. Go take her on a date. Hopefully it ends up in holy matrimony someday. That's what I'm wishing and hoping for Mr. Kevin Kopps. It's been a great show, been a great couple shows, Arkansas Game Day. Mace, appreciate you helping me along. For Mason Choate, I'm Ty Richardson, live from Walk-On's Fort Smith. Appreciate them hosting us. Also, Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley and Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Morning Rush tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Listen and watch Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction only at Walk-On.